Well, here we are 6 weeks into the new year, and I could not be more sure that our property needs us to focus on drought proofing during these rainy Central Texas months. Before I know it, it'll be scorched earth season, and the effort we make now will help heal our 7 acres.
And then it starts running down there. Now you can see all of that erosion. It just speeds there.
Today is an action day. We have maybe another 6 months until we're in the heat, hottest part of our summer in Texas. So everything we do now has to be taking action to prepare for those hot summers and the drought that's definitely going to come. So, go ahead.
No, this is gonna get hot.
It's gonna get really hot. We have had this kind of February in the past. Oh! Super effective poultry netting. So looking around now, it's very different. This is not that same kind of February, and we were expecting winter to do her job. She's not, and so we have to get ready for summer now. Action days have a lot of prep beforehand, but it's more fun to actually get in a tractor and get things done today. So we're focusing on pocket ponds in small spots all throughout our 7 acres here in Central Texas.
Inspiration from this is Brad Lancaster's Rainwater Harvesting for Dry Lands. It's a how-to on not exactly how to harvest rainwater, but how to plant the rain.
Yeah, so I think as we were talking about this, there really isn't this big, oh, Texas doesn't have enough rain. We just get rain all at once, especially where we live, and then we have this huge dry season. So our goal in this wet, even though it's not cold winter right now, it's wet winter. So we've had probably 4 or 5 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks, more than we got almost all of 2023. And our goal this year is to drought proof our property. In this wet, rainy weather, we're going to learn to store the water underground. We can't store everything in rain tanks. We just don't have enough rain tanks.
Of what Kelly's talking about, that rain that landed onto our property, those 4 to 6 inches, we only got maybe half of that. And that half of it ended up at the bottom of the back half of our property in the pond, which is great. It ran fast and only went to the pond. So we had a lot of erosion there. And in the front part, it slopes down also, and it ran off onto our county road into creeks that we don't own. So what we want to do is capture that water first, because if you capture the water as high as you can on the property, it ends up feeding into those creeks further down the line, no matter what. So you're not stealing downhill, you're actually helping those creeks downhill.
Let's do it. Let's get to work.
Clouds roll by, glittering. I never thought they would let me in. A fading light, a distant call. The devil will never be welcome here at all. The sky is gray, I guess that's what it takes to feel a little lonely. It's a stay. Do you feel our love is the only thing that is real? It's like a heart with nothing to conceal, nothing more. Lesson learned, a slight state of hope that you will return. It's what. All
right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is bring the tractor over here, and this is finished, just beautiful compost that we're going to bring over to the berms and spread it out. Look at this. You see that? It is just awesome, amazing compost from the cow manure. Gonna spread that on top of the berms so that we can then seed and hopefully give those roots a good chance to get down in there and hold the berm together so that they don't erode away whenever we get heavy rains again. All right, so I haven't actually shown Kelly the work that I did with the berms. So this is kind of our first time looking at it while we're filming. So I created these berms. As the water comes down, it catches. So we're gonna cut all this stuff up. I just haven't been able to clean that up, but we'll put organic matter in here. And then the hope is that the water will come down, it will be caught by this berm, and this will become a temporary small pond. The cows are very interested in it. Now here's the deal. These cows are gonna mess it up. So I have to figure out how to keep Goldie, especially Goldie. She's gonna walk in this.
Right now.
You're just gonna ruin it all, aren't you? So this is part of the job. Now that we've done all this, we need to seed these berms.
Yeah.
And we need to get grass growing, roots growing, anything that we can get to grow in here so that they hold together.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I'm learning most about the earthworks part is we're gonna tear up the ground. It's gonna look like a disaster. Once it seeds, it's like putting cement on the building. Like it holds it together.
So then here's the second one. It's hard to be able to see. Elevation just looks weird on camera.
Maybe you can see it from here.
Comes from up here, down.
Come this way.
Okay, and then down that way.
Because I think you can see a really good depth where it comes from, like those trees across the driveway. And you can see how it kind of like would pit right there. Like,
and right here is like a valley. It's a low point.
I'm in the pond.
You were in the pond.
Can you imagine what well-placed pocket ponds all along these open spaces would look like? The forest is already hard at work. Like a sponge, the fallen leaves and even the trees are holding water throughout the early year and keeping such a healthy amount of moisture through the summer. The forecast called for rain, and you know how it goes around here. We use what we got. So this is a mix we call Who Knows What, and it's a collection of cover seeds that we used 4 years ago. Let's hope they sprout. In the coming weeks, we will spend our hours with chainsaws, parking up the trees so that we transform our open spaces into true pastures. The cows will help, but we can't do anything without something for them to forage. Friends, our baby steps like this could not feel more futile. But year after year, we have looked back at what small steps like this have produced. Brad Lancaster's book says when you plant the water, you get to be a kid again and go play in the rain. So much of this labor takes time to see a real difference. But just 2 days after we built these first pocket ponds, the rains came. It's safe to say that we'll spend the rest of this rainy season feeling like kids again.
It's working!
I know what you're thinking, that homesteading folks are fun to watch, but I gotta work and pay my bills. Yes, do that, please. But we're not independently wealthy, and we do actually have jobs, and so do all the people that you're watching on YouTube who do what you want to do. We just had a plan to get here. So if you're stuck on how you can make money and work from your homestead so that you can actually have time and funds to do so, then our free 50 Homestead Moneymakers Guide is going to give you a jump start. This matters to us, that you have the freedom to live the life you're dreaming of. Tons of ideas that we've used, and so have our friends, to inspire you to take those next steps and go from dreaming to doing. We don't want to sell you on anything other than yourself. So if you could use some ideas for added streams of income that get you off your tail and onto your homestead, you'll want to download the free 50 Homestead Moneymakers Guide.